Hey YouTube, it's Tammy from LaceyBTV, and my ex and first boyfriend posted a comment on a recent video of mine. His question to me is, if I could do it all over again, would I have went out of state to school, or am I happy with my decision? So to explain the question, my first boyfriend and I, we met when I was in high school. Actually, the January before I graduated. Well, actually, we met the Christmas before I graduated, but we got together the January before I graduated, about 13 days or something like that. Another backstory to that backstory is the fact that in high school, I just assumed this is not real, you know, I'm not going to meet anybody that I'm going to be with forever, that I don't even want to be with forever. It's going to last for this amount of time and then it's going to be over. I had two boyfriends in high school before him that both lasted for a month. Probably were not even like legit, like as far as what a relationship is to me now, those relationships were not legit. But it was, and I quote, something for me to do. Everyone else was doing it, so I felt like I should give it a try, so I did. Each guy, my mom raised me to think, do not date anyone. She said, do not date anyone unless you feel as though you could marry them one day. So each guy, I knew off the bat, I was not going to marry them. I knew this. But I wanted the experience. I wanted it. So I gave it a try. I can't remember who came first, but out of the two boyfriends I had in high school, besides my first real boyfriend, that's why I call him my first boyfriend, because I consider him to be my first real boyfriend. The two joke relationships I had in high school, one of them, I met him one day, we got together, like a few weeks later, we only talked on the phone for a month. The next time I saw him, he cheated on me in my face. So that was exciting. He was cool though. Like if I saw him now, we'd be cool. The second, I knew this kid from like around the neighborhood, and he was older than me, and we used to hang out like once a week, every week, because that was the only time that I could really see him, because my mom was actually preoccupied at the time. I wasn't allowed to have boyfriends, so I had to kind of like hide out. And I guess he just got tired of that sneaking around lifestyle that I had to have in order to even potentially be with him. And so he made up some BS and he dumped me. So, long story short, I didn't think relationships in high school were legit. So when, I'm going to give him a name. I'm going to give him his name. So when Jermaine approached me, said that he liked me, said that he supposedly remembered me from middle school because we went to the same middle school, I just went with it. So we got together not too long after we met, and for the first year things were great. Wonderful even. We went to prom together, so I was really ecstatic to not have to search for a date. Nobody asked me to go to the prom. So I would have been kind of like out of luck, you know, if my boyfriend hadn't come along. So I was happy for that. And we had a good relationship for a long time. We were madly in love, my first love, and we learned a lot about life together. You know, actually I got to teach him a lot about life, because there's just things he didn't know, like fruits he'd never tried, places he'd never been, and I liked that. I like to be able to show someone the world, as I like to call it. Wow, I get to show you the world. That's what I say. So graduation came for the both of us. We were the same age and the same grade, just different schools. And I had hopes to go to a black college. I really wanted to go out of state because I have an overprotective mom, and I was tired of being under her constant supervision. So I really wanted to leave for that, and because I was infatuated with black schools and bands and school spirit and black people, and I just wanted to go experience that and be out on my own and go see another area. Atlanta I wanted to go to. Michigan just possibly, just because my family lives out there. Arkansas, because for some reason I had gotten a tennis scholarship. I'm no good, but I had a tennis scholarship to go to an Arkansas school, and I'm pretty much glad I didn't go there. I want to go to Clark, Atlanta, to Dillard. Like, I was just trying to get out there to the dirty. And but I told my boyfriend, you know, Jermaine. He said, "Don't leave me. I love you. Please don't leave me." Something to that effect. Jermaine, don't quote me. I mean, don't quote me, because Jermaine don't get mad if I said it wrong. So I told him, okay, I promise I won't leave you. And one of those, you know, the music is playing in the background and you profess your love to your love, and you know what I mean, like one of those type of moments. I told him, I will never leave you, you know? Okay. Now he's asking, do I regret making that decision, or am I happy with the decision I made? And at the moment, whoa, it hit me like, whoa, you know. Okay. So the answer to the question would be all over the place. So I'm going to start in one place and end up over here. Now, Jermaine and I, we had a good 22 months together. Almost 2 years. And we did not end on a good note, unfortunately. I mean, I would have hoped, but that wasn't going to happen. I didn't really want to be in... I didn't want to go... How do I explain it? I didn't want to go where that relationship was taking me. And he didn't understand that. And so we broke up, basically. Either way, I guess we would have broken up, even if he understood it or not. But we broke up. And I was upset with him because of the direction that the relationship was taking us. That's not what I wanted. That's not what we had discussed. And everything that happened in our relationship is definitely not what I wanted. So it's not what we discussed. Wasn't fair, wasn't right. He didn't uphold his end of the bargain. I was disappointed, you know? So when he asked me the question, all those feelings came back, because it took me back to the past and to that moment, to that time when I was so madly in love with him that I gave him that promise. And then it took me to the moment where we broke up and broke things off, and you know, I was upset. So my immediate reaction was, ooh, you know, like, anger. But then my second reaction was, well, I've forgiven him. 5 years ago, right before my best friend got married, I met up with him and I forgave him for everything, and it lifted this giant burden off of me that I didn't even realize I had, and I was so happy, glowing like I was pregnant, and I was, you know, I was so happy to forgive him, because that's something I really believe in. Forgiveness is key and important, and I was just so happy to be rid of that burden that I didn't know I had, but now I knew, because I could feel that, you know, I was lighter. Basically, had lost pounds. And it felt good to reconnect with him and to be able to think of the positive moments that we'd had, because we had a lot of good times. Like, kid you not, I was in love with this kid and thought I was going to marry him and be with him forever. So imagine the good times that we had, right? So I was happy to be rid of the anger and to be able to think about the positive. And I thought maybe we'd be something like possibly, sort of, not really, but kind of friends. And so, okay. So he asked me the question. So after the anger, then after I remembered that I had forgiven him and I felt good about him now, I thought to myself, okay, well, you know, I don't feel so negative towards him that I would say, man, bump that situation, bump our relationship, I'm mad I ever made that decision, I should have went out of state, it's all your fault, wah. You know, I don't feel that way. Neither is that true. I'm going to tell you why. High school, it was an interesting time for me. You know, growing up, I've always been pretty smart, you know, a little bit slightly above average as far as smartness goes. When I was in elementary school, I was in magnet. I went to a magnet school. I was in gate classes, you know what I mean? I was in, like, you know, the upper education type classes. I was smart. And then in high school, I guess I kind of lost the desire to to educate myself and apply myself, and the drive wasn't there anymore. And you know, I had like some family issues and stuff at the time, so from 8th grade on, things just weren't great for me. You know, not the way they had been when I was younger. My support system wasn't the same, and so it affected my life. It's not like, you know, I'm not going to blame that whole situation on, you know, why I was where I was as far as education goes, but it played a part. You know, everyone can admit that there's certain things that happen in your life, and for me, when things go wrong in my life, the one area that gets affected the most is education. I can guarantee you. So my parents started having problems. I started failing math classes. From then on, I didn't have a great relationship with my pops, so I didn't do that great in high school. From then on, you know, I don't remember really what was going on by the time graduation came, but I guess just my poor performance throughout the 4 years, I was so clueless as to what I wanted to do in life, like what was my major and what was my career goal. So I didn't really know what school I wanted to do, or, you know, how I was going to get there or pay for it. So it was like a pipe dream that I had that I didn't put too much emphasis into. And so, truth be told, I wasn't necessarily really prepared and ready to go out of state for college. So a lot of the reason why I made the promise to Jermaine to stay with him here in Cali and not leave was because, I mean, I was scared. You know, I was scared to go out on my own. I didn't know if I'd be able to do it, if I would be able to succeed in school, if I would be able to succeed in life, if I would have the money, the means, if I would be able to make friends, or, you know, stay out of trouble or stay out of danger, you know. So I was scared. So he's not really the reason why I didn't go out of state. I think that if I had really wanted to go, I probably wouldn't have made the promise, and I probably would have went anyway. So I did want to go. That desire was there in my heart, but it wasn't strong enough. I was too scared. I used him as an excuse to say, oh, you're the reason why I stayed, but I was scared. So I do not regret choosing to not go out of state, because I mean, what are you going to do? Shoulda, coulda, woulda, you know? I can't go back in time, change it. I was scared to go, and that's why I didn't go. So to answer your question, I am happy with my decision to stay in Cali. I love Cali. I would not do our relationship all over again, because obviously it ended badly, so who wants to go back there? And I don't regret not going out of state, because I have no idea if that would have gone good or bad for me. But this life is the one that I know, this is the one that I own, and this is the one that I'm gonna live. YOLO. Thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you, Jermaine, for asking a question. I hope you enjoyed my answer. I hope it wasn't too long. And continue to ask whatever you want to know. I'll let you know the real deal, right? I'll see you guys later, okay? Bye.